Deborah Jean Beasley was an A-plus student and teacher who turned into a molester.
She pled guilty to 2 counts of lewd and lascivious behavior involving a minor.
She was also the beauty queen in her teens and even dated Backstreet Boys lead singer Nick Carter. In university, she worked as a model in car magazines, and before beginning her career as a reading teacher at a middle school, she met her husband.
During her first year of teaching, she met a man named Owen Lafave. They married in July of 2003, and Debra Beasley became Debra Lafave.
Deborah's life seemed perfect, but soon her husband suspected an affair.
And he thought it was with one of my fellow teachers.
He never dreamed it was with one of your students.
Never.
He was right, except for the fact that her affair partner was not a coworker.
Debra Lafave, a 23-year-old reading teacher, was having an affair with a 14-year-old student at her middle school in a suburb of Tampa.
The two even had intercourse in her classroom.
She'd already performed oral sex on him. Now 10 days later, June 14th, she invited him to help her clean her classroom and crossed yet another line.
And that was the first time.
You had intercourse with him at school.
Yes.
Believing she was doing nothing wrong,
Any point during sex with this student or after sex with this student did you say, in the eyes of the law, I just committed rape?
I don't think no, I didn't say that.
Deborah took it off campus, even having sex with the boy in a car in the back seat while his 15-year-old cousin drove.
It didn't even bother me. And like I said, I am the most modest person.
But before long, the boy's mother found out that he was spending a lot of extra time with his teacher.
Thinking of it as being a young girl who just got caught with her boyfriend.
The boy soon confessed to everything.
He also described her lower anatomy and identified distinguishing marks on the woman's body, including a belly button piercing, tan lines, and the teacher's pubic hair, which had been shaved in the shape of a rectangular strip.
And officers got him to call Deborah on a recorded line, asking her to meet up at his house.
She made him promise his mom wasn't home.
Positive.
Yeah.
Promise?
Yeah.
Pinky promise. Say pinky promise.
Clueless, she showed up and was arrested immediately on arrival.
At first, my immediate thought was, did I just run a stop sign?
Deborah might not have thought the situation was serious, but the charges were.
You are under arrest.
Debra Lafave, under arrest in Temple Terrace, Florida, for lewd and lascivious battery. Legalese that translates this way: a 23-year-old teacher having sex with a 14-year-old student, a felony with a maximum sentence of 15 years in prison.
Her defense attorney's approach was interesting.
Lafave's lawyer said to the judge, to place an attractive woman in that kind of hellhole is like putting a piece of raw meat in with the lions.
Deborah avoided jail time altogether. There was also a plea deal at play.
The prosecution was compelled to offer a plea agreement when Paul's mother refused to allow him to testify due to the disruption that a public trial and the surrounding media circus would cause to the boy's life.
As a part of the deal, Deborah had to surrender her teacher's license, register as a sex offender, spend 3 years on house arrest, and 7 on probation. Oh yeah, and her husband divorced her.
He was walking out the door. I think I literally grabbed onto his leg and squeezed, and he was dragging me on the floor because I just didn't want him to leave.
She later attributed her criminal behaviors to bipolar disorder.
Well, like I said, that's a fog that I was in.
Now 41, Deborah is remarried, a devoted Christian, and is a mother of 2 twin boys. Was this a case of too pretty for prison? Did she get off easy?